And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host, Ray. With me as always, we have Fada.
Hello.
And we have Dion.
First of all, RIP to Shot G from Digital Underground. Just found out about that a couple of minutes ago.
Yo, I'm sad about
Another
it.
one?
I was just like, God damn. And I
We
liked him.
just lost DMX, bruh.
We just lost DMX. We literally just lost Black Rob. What, the day before yesterday?
Uh over the weekend.
It feels like, God damn, niggas didn't even have a chance to like get DMX's death out of their system and then like even process Black Rob. Like, come on.
The Bay feeling it because he was one of the pioneers of the Bay Area. If you really want to say it, Shock G, him, like, damn. How old was he?
57.
I was about to say because none of these people getting past 60. I just noticed that. Shoot. Rest in peace, Shock G. AK also known as Humpty Hump. Uh, had a bunch of hits in the 90s for those who know. But rest in peace. All right. On with the show, gentlemen. First of all, how y'all doing? How y'all doing tonight?
Damn. I'm okay, I guess.
Okay. You, Dion?
I'm good.
All right. All right, so let's get on with the hot topic that's been around. Derek Chauvin has been found guilty, according to the AP News article. Former Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin was convicted Tuesday of murder and manslaughter for pinning George Floyd to the pavement with his knee on the black man's neck in case that triggered worldwide protests, violence, furious re-examination of racism policing in U.S. Chauvin 45 was immediately led away with his handcuffed behind his back and it could be sent to prison for decades. Also, he's not getting bail and all of his charges, he was guilty on all charges. So, gentlemen, would you consider this a win or are you waiting until the sentencing to really like be fully relieved?
I mean, it's a victory, but the L's we've been taking right now, it's really nothing to celebrate. It's like scoring one goal in a game where you're down like 500.
And
Like,
that
are you
man was
really
like in
going
the
to celebrate
last few
a
minutes
goal
of the
like
fucking
that?
game.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like hollow. It's like an empty victory. It's like, thanks, but I could have used this, all them other times.
Mm-hmm. Over the past centuries. The fuck?
So I guess the word I'm looking, I guess to pronounce it is bittersweet because you want to be happy, but like we don't seen this story before and how people don't get us, especially like with the Amber Geiger shit. I think with the Amber Geiger case, a lot of people are like just like us. I need to wait until they hear the sentencing. Which, by the way, I think is stupid that he doesn't get the sentencing on the same day as he get convicted guilty. I personally think that's always been weird, but um, do y'all think he's going to get the maximum penalty? What do y'all think he's going to get?
I mean, they have no choice but to give him the maximum penalty. As a matter of fact, is a lot of people are even saying his charges are even lighter than they need to be.
And that's saying something. And
Mm.
that's really saying stuff. So, um, I hope he does get the maximum penalty. And I do want to say this, and because I've been saying, although I say this many a times, Van Jones said something that and that I say all the time. Usually, I don't like him crying on TV, but he did say something that I've said all the time. I just want the cops to do your fucking job. Like, we don't want y'all to do everything. Like, you don't want y'all to be superheroes or none of that other stuff. We just want y'all to do your job. And we also want, if you like disobey the law or you break a law, that you take accountability of your own peoples and then like prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law, just like y'all do us, regular civilians. I'm not even
Yeah,
trying to get into a race part, even though I can. But I just want y'all to do your fucking job. This is me personally. If everybody else feels like this, they could say so. But for me personally, I just want y'all to do your fucking jobs. I shouldn't feel tense walking around cops. Like I should not feel that. I should feel safe where the police is around me. But yet, no, I don't. And I don't even do nothing. I don't break the laws. I don't do anything to break the laws. But like, I shouldn't feel tense every time I see a cop. What about y'all?
here's my thing, Ray, about everything you just said. Everything you just said was true, but how many times do they need to hear it at this point? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean when I say that? Like, it's something that should be the ideal for everybody. If you want a society where people can actually do things and actually have healthy relationships with law enforcement, then the people that's in law enforcement and the systems that accommodate that would create systems that would, make sure that that was an ideal thing. But it's not, you know. They decided that it would be better if people would just get killed based on the color of their skin. I don't know why we live in a society like that where people think it's okay, but this is it. And I don't know how many times people need to say, hey, what you're doing is hurting us. And then they just keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So it's like, I hear what you're saying, but how many times do you need to say that, right? How many times?
I shouldn't have to say it more than once.
Right. This should have not happened at all. And this is going back, like Dion said, centuries. Centuries.
And speaking
I
of
don't know.
centuries, my bad. Go ahead, Dion.
Oh no, Father was about to say something.
Oh yeah, go ahead,
I
Fox.
was
My bad.
done. You can go ahead.
Oh, but no, that's it. Like I done said everything I would have said.
Okay, all right. So let me ask y'all this. This is sort of like a follow up question because I've seen a lot of uh people on the liberal, not liberal, more on the conservative side, be like, cops. You know what? Cops should quit because if they're going to be prosecuted for doing their job, even though they're not doing it right. But a lot of people say, cops should quit just so people, all the people talking about defund the police and all that other stuff. If cops would quit, so I'm gonna ask you this: if cops would, let's say cops quit, do y'all think that's a positive or a negative?
I personally think it's you can't really tell, and I'm gonna explain why. The police and like how policing works in America is interwoven with politics, and because it's 50 states and everything, so states do their own thing, but there's a federal government and shit. So like the way it's structured in the first place doesn't work. Is my point. I'm trying to say. And to say that, oh, well, if we just, get rid of them, it's like, no, it's not about getting rid of them. The entire system needs to fucking be abolished. If you're going to abolish the police, you better abolish the entire system because it will not work unless the system is abolished. Now, whether people want to, like do it in a way that's productive, then, people will accommodate the changes to do that. But if we're just going to sit here and go through the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, then at that point it's not the cops' fault, even if you do get rid of them.
I see what you're saying. My thing is, um, if anybody knows the history of police, like they used to go catch slaves. That's basically as far as it goes. It goes back into slavery. Now they used to either kill them or bring them back to wherever plantation they was on and beat them or hang them to death or in front of everybody just so them to be a warning. So this, like I said, this really like thing that goes back in the past. My thing is, like you said, it has like not only just that The system has to be white. I feel like if you I was thinking about the Black Panthers because when they was policing the police, but not only that they police the police, they was also making sure their neighborhood was good. So I feel like if you get the people that know the neighborhood and like let's say like turn like how the Black Panthers had like their own neighborhood watch and they was like looking out for people in the neighborhood. I feel like we can do that. If the cops like you said, if you take away the system, we doing that. But I also feel like if we build something from the ground up and they're basically here to like protect and to serve the people like the cops supposed to do. I feel like we could do that. I feel like at first it could be rough. Like people say, see, you need cops because a lot of people feel like if you just defund the police or get rid of like gang violence would just go extremely up. I'm like, nah. I feel like if you just give the community jobs that that to protect the neighborhood, I feel like you could get something positive out of it as long as there's no politics involved in there. So that's what like. And I know there are good cops that really was there that trying to do good, honest police work, as they say. But it's just like the system you're in is really fucking us over. And basically, the mentality of some of these cops that they have is really, really dangerous. Like I said last week or like the week before that, I shouldn't have to be the one to de-escalate the situation, and the cops shouldn't be the one being all tense. This is like I understand the job is dangerous, but at the same time, like I shouldn't be the one that's telling you to calm down, and you're the one with the gun in my face. So, anybody else got any words before we move on to our next topic?
Just a couple of things. What you were saying about how the police got abolished and shit, or how crime and gang violence would do this, that, and the third. Um, People are gonna do them with or without the cops. Let's be real about that for one. Because like depending on where you are exactly, crowds crowds been on crowds probably been on the rise. Just things being the way they are currently any motherfucking way. And I guess as far as abolishing the system, I think the word that I think the proper word would be like revamp, restructure, something like that. Because like you can't get rid of the police altogether. It can't. That's something that can't be done. Because there's crime is already in a bad enough state as is. You know what I'm saying? So like, who's gonna check the real criminals out here if you make that move? I don't know what else to say about that.
Mm. I guess the only thing I can say is like the Crips. I think they're originally why they formed the Crips was to protect the neighborhood. So I feel
What
like
that's how both the Crips and the Bloods first were formed. That's the primary reason they first were formed. But then came the drugs and everything else.
yeah, the crack and then all the other stuff, and then plus poverty.
I could go into full detail on that history, of why the gangs were started and what like led to them being what they've become over 80s 90s today or whatever. But we ain't got that kind of time. Like I actually know that in detail.
All right. So on to our next topic, Micaiah Bryant. For those who don't know, Micaiah Bryant and two other young women was arguing over a messy house, and this is from CNN News. Uh, Two other young women arguing over a messy house and unmade bed before a fight that ended with fatal police shooting of a black teenager who was Ma'Khia Bryant. The woman who cared for Ma'Khia Bryant in foster care said Thursday. Angela Moore said two of her former foster children that came to her from Columbus, Ohio, home Tuesday to celebrate her birthday when a young woman and Ma'Khia bickered over housekeeping. Um, so basically, what happened was the cops came over there, or at least the video footage I seen. You see a cop come out of his car, and Micaiah was defending herself, but she had a knife on her, and the cop saw the knife and fired four shots at her. So, y'all actually, you and Dion actually like had like different views of it. So, how do y'all feel about this situation that happened right here?
If I may,
Go
because
ahead, Dion.
um there's pieces to that story that kind of I don't know if they got revealed or not. And I think I mentioned this in the group chat when that police officer first showed up. That he didn't even like get out the car right away to even like you know check see what was happening, stop the fight from happening to begin with. Like from what I've been told, like that cop could have just like stopped that whole situation if he'd have got out of his car right the fuck away. And then he made the mistake of getting out the car with his gun already motherfucking drawn. When he finally seen, okay, punches were thrown or whatever, he hops out with his gun already out. So that's two mistakes right there. But yeah, that shit was just should shouldn't have went the way it did. Um, it's it's painful to talk about a young life going out like that, in any capacity. I don't know, man.
Father is on you.
So I don't think people really understand what happened, even though it's clear as day what happened. Is one of those things where it's like it is very obvious what happened right in front of us, and people using it to twist it into this narrative, to twist it into something it's not, is something that's really been bothering me these past few days. And like a 16-year-old girl is dead for absolutely no reason. Like even the circumstances, when you think about the circumstances, she shouldn't have even been in those circumstances in the first place as a 16-year-old girl. You know what I mean? So just the entire situation in general, all of this happening while we're just getting the verdict for the Derek Chauvin, like trying to heal from the very same problem that we saw when we saw the George Floyd thing, and now we see it happen again to one of our children. Word, like I don't think people are putting things into perspective. A 16-year-old girl died for no reason. She was shot 4 times unfairly because the cop didn't want to be a cop and de-escalate the situation like it's like he's supposed to. But we don't de-escalate, we shoot and ask questions later. In a country that is as divided as it is now, then this happens. And then I gotta hear people talk about, oh, that's not what happened. This what happened. It's getting to a point where it's just you're so disappointed you can't even speak anymore. You know what I mean? I'm like people just constantly getting it wrong, even though it was clear as day what happened. It was in the video for everyone to see, and yet still people want to act like this is something we can debate on. This is something that we need to discuss instead of just you know understanding that a 16-year-old child lost her life for no reason whatsoever. As a society, we failed her. If you want my honest opinion, as a society, we have failed her. That's why she's dead. We as a society has fucking failed her.
Damn, foster system failed her, law enforcement failed her. Oh, just damn.
So I
I was
don't
going
know
to say,
what people are gonna do after this, but shit needs to be put into perspective. It's disgusting that it's gotten to this point.
I was about to say because in my opinion, she shouldn't even have to call the police. Like, and if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, those were grown women that was about to jump her. It's like why are grown people trying to jump a 16-year-old? And also, why was people there not trying to stop it? Like a lot of them had their phones out. And I know some people like there's a lot of flight or fight things, but I feel like with that one, it shouldn't even got to a point where she shouldn't have to defend herself with a knife. Yeah, uh, and the 29-year-old shouldn't be the one trying to jump her. It's like, why are you trying to jump a 16? You're 29, and like this is what like that part bothers me as most. And I know a lot of people was like, he had to think quickly. There was a story that I just looked at about a cop that he was subduing this white dude. He's about to put him in handcuffs, and the white guy had a knife. Actually stabbed the cop in the neck and tried to run. Now, not only the cop still chased him, he had his gun out at first, and then switched to a taser, and then tased him and subdued him. It's like and the thing is, I don't put these examples out many of times where people say, "Oh, they should have just complied." He didn't really like. I can understand like she didn't even see the cop there because the cop really didn't announce themselves. And usually, cops I know when they really like try to get your attention, they either flicker the lights or you hear the cop sound like whoop whoop, just so you know the cops is there. Like that's one thing. Another thing, I get sick and tired of explaining to people like we have others examples of people either complying or doing what the cop's supposed to do, and the cop still shoots them. This is we have so many stories that I don't want to like regurgitate like as many, but that cop he didn't have to shoot her. He really didn't have to put his gun out. Like he could have like de-escalated he could have de-escalated the the situation. Then I know he was, and it was saying that he was lying too. Like she was coming at him with the knife. The woman, even in the camera, she wasn't even coming at the cop with the knife. So
She
I don't understand
she was
why.
facing away from the cop, clear
Yeah,
as day,
she was nowhere near. You,
going after whoever the girl in the pink jumpsuit was in the video, like going towards her with the knife. Which, not to mention the fact that, okay, correct me if I'm wrong on something, real quick. If you shoot someone in the back, that's murder. If you shoot someone in the back and they die, that's automatic murder, right?
if they're running away from you, yeah. Especially if they're running away from you, yeah. That's definitely murder.
Yeah, this is
But
murder one. If they give,
I
he
will
needs to
say
be
this:
charged.
Laws differ from state to state. So, like, I didn't think that was in Columbus, Ohio. So I've literally had to look at lethal force in Columbus. Like in our vision, that's murder, but from a law standpoint, I got to see what it really says about that. And like, if the law says he was justified, in my opinion, he murdered the girl, but the law, I got to see what the law said if he was justified or not in the shooting. In which I'm pretty sure he wasn't. Go ahead, Dion.
Yeah, I'm curious about that now because, like you said, to most people, you pop somebody in the back like that and kill him. That should be murder. That's murder. That should be murder one. But we'll we just gotta wait for that to unfold because we're gonna hear more about that one, I'm sure.
Okay. Any last words on that before we move on to our next topic?
She should not be dead right now. She shouldn't.
Exactly. Um, So father done sent me this tweet and he wanted to put this on the list and we're gonna talk about it. Um, this tweet came from Senator Mazie Hirono. It's like past the day the U.S. Senate rejects anti-Asian hate. This historic bipartisan vote on the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act is a powerful message of solidarity to our AAPI community. Now I urge the House to swiftly pass this legislation so President Biden can sign it into the law.
Right.
So, Father, I'm gonna ask you since you brought this up. What are your thoughts about this whole thing?
So, first thing is first, I have absolutely no issue with this bill whatsoever. It's just, I think it's funny how the US government treats black people because I'm pretty sure we've seen this, all of our lives where when it comes to specific black issues, it's always a minority thing. And, recently now it's a people of color thing. Whenever, we want something to pass in regards to Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, it's minorities and people of color. Stop Asian hate becomes a hashtag because Asian Americans, are facing discrimination. They created a movement and they're getting legislation, not even 2 months after they started making noise about their discrimination. And you look at that and you're like, yo, they're literally ignoring people on purpose. The very people that built this country, they're ignoring them on purpose, broad as day. And these were the people that are saying, yo, just vote for Biden. Everything's going to be great as long as Trump is not in the White House. And everyone made fun of, people who were actually skeptical. And now this is what happens.
I ain't vote for the motherfucker.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's clear as day. And I don't know how much more clear they can make it. At this point, I don't know why black people are either Republicans or Democrats. They're both not in their favor whatsoever. It's like literally obvious. It's literally right there in their face, but we still got people thinking they can change the system from the inside. You couldn't even change the system on a local level. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things we've gotten done, and we currently live in a time where a lot of sacrifices have been made for us to not be this disrespected in regards to our community. A lot has been done to ensure that everybody in this country, at least feels like they're somebody. But yo, they're literally ignoring black people right in their face. I don't know how they're not noticing this. I don't like, and I'm when I say they, I mean people in politics and stuff like that. The people that you see in CNN. Like which type of black people I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
most definitely.
if this is not the wake up call, bruh, it's over. And that's
Dion,
all I've got to say.
how you feel about that?
He said everything I was thinking about that, but he just said it in a polite manner. So I'm gonna just leave the fuck alone.
um,
And yeah, and just to reiterate, like the fact that Asians got that, legislation, pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Because it just goes to show you that when people have a code, when people are on code, they get stuff done. The Asian people were on code and they got it done for them specifically.
Also,
You know what I
I
mean?
want to say this, and I first things first. I also do not have any problems with the Stop Asian Hate, the AAPI, or none of that. I feel like y'all did what y'all was supposed to do, and y'all got what y'all needed. But I also feel the same way. But I've been saying this since Biden has been in office. I feel like we should be getting the stuff first, or the things that pertain to us first. Like we should be on their necks. And I don't know how many times do I have to say this, but we should be on their necks. I don't have a problem with what they did, but at the same time, it's just like I'm looking at this. It's just like it seems like, and it's just regurgitating thing where we do all the marches, we do all the work, and it seems like everybody else gets the recognition for it, which is why I tell people I do not like people of color, because let's be real, it's us that is now. I understand, like when the when George Floyd died, everybody marched. I get that, like people of all races were marching, but there's been many a times where our people done marched, done died, done like got dog sicked on them hoses, and then like not really stuff is done for us. And I'm seeing the same shit over and over. It's just I really one thing I really want is our people to say, "Hey, we need stuff for the black community, not this person of color stuff. We need things that are pertaining to the black community," which is why I was down with the contract with Black America that Ice Cube was giving out, because that's specifically for the black community. I Like I said, the Asians did their thing. The AAPI, they did what they supposed to do. I feel like we need to be doing what supposed to do. And I guess, and what a, I feel like I had something else to say. Uh, but yeah, that's mostly it. And oh yeah, this one. Now, like I said, the Stop Asian Hate, I understand it, but I also noticed that a lot of people don't get, they're not getting all the Black Lives, like, or Stop All Hate. But when it's Black Lives Matter, you can see people just talking about all lives matter. You're like, what about everybody's lives? It's like I see no one saying this about Stop Asian Hate, and they shouldn't. But this is the stuff that I feel like we talk about. Is like when we need something to do, it's like, what about everybody else? Now, when everybody else does it, it seems like, oh, these people need help. We really need to help them. So I don't like the fact that not only that we're ignored, but we're not really putting our foots on their neck, and people is just letting it slide. So, any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Black Lives Matter, I guess. Right?
Oh man. So, all right. I feel like this pertains to the next topic, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. A Chicago rapper named, and this is coming from Hip Hop DX, a Chicago rapper named Jonte Adams, who's part of the duo Tilla and Billy Bino, is reporting feeling the repercussions of his alleged gang lifestyle. According to the Associated Press, the 29-year-old Adams was an intended target of a shooting at a local McDonald's drive-through, but instead, suspects wound up fatally shooting his 7-year-old daughter, Jasmine. Now, in simpler terms, they caught him lacking at a McDonald's drive-through. Instead of hitting him, they hit his daughter. And the reason why they hit him up in the first place, because he had a video of him pissing on his ops grave. For people who don't know, ops, your opposition, people you don't like. There's a video of him pissing and defecating on ops grave. So people saw him and they end up, running in his car with bullets. He got hit, but his daughter ended up dying. So, gentlemen, what are your thoughts about this?
That's fucking tragic, bro.
What do you even say to that? Like,
Yeah, I'm with Dion on that one. What do you even say about that? Like, shit. That's a
It's
4 year, like, that's a child.
like it's a fucked
seven.
up.
She was 7.
Yeah, it's the sad. You know what the sad part is though? That's not the first time I heard a fucked up story like that out of Chicago. Like, there was another one where they took a kid back into the alley and they shot him just because their father was in a gang they didn't like. And it was another one where like uh the baby mom was like taking her kid for a walk and she was in the stroller and two dudes walked up and shot the baby in the chest and said, "Tell them we did it." Like these are true stories. These are not stories I'm not making up. So in my hindsight, it's just say, yo, these dudes are on another. And I'm hearing this out of Chicago. Like these people are on another level of goonery and savagery and not giving a fuck. And like that shit is really scary to me. Like she had nothing to do with what he was doing, and yet she has to suffer the consequences of her father doing something stupid.
I'm just on the standpoint of even if you don't like a motherfucker, just for the sake of human motherfucking decency and shit, you just don't goddamn do.
I agree.
Bro, I've been saying it. Yo, I've been saying it. Some of these people don't got no morals. I've been saying it. I've been saying this for like the longest. Some of these people
Like, damn,
just don't got.
if I don't like a nigga, I'm gonna beat his ass when I see him. But I'm not gonna wish death on nobody like that. I'm not gonna go to nobody damn graveyard and freaking spit and piss and shit on they tombstone and no shit like that. You know, I wouldn't want nobody doing none of that wild shit toward me, man. What?
Bro, I realized them niggas was different when that dude Tuka that dude Tuka died and that his ops was like, yo, we smoking on that Tuka pack. Or it's like every time when like somebody dies out of Chicago, oh, we smoking on that stuff. Like these niggas, I say this before, like these Chicago niggas are different. They don't give a fuck. And like I understand there was a story that happened in DC where like this gang member he did a music video at his ops grave and they end up shooting him and killing him. It's like this is not first of things first. That's not cool. I don't promote this, and I don't know why people are doing this or even saying the whole outspoken this abstract. To me, that's now I understand. I'm not in the gang life, but to even then, like that's like what's the word I'm looking for? Inhumane. That's very inhumane. It's like you really don't give. And from what looks like from these Chicago boys, they really do not give a fuck about life. Like I don't know if y'all ever seen FBG duck on DJ Vlad. Like that nigga, I felt like that nigga. If he didn't die the way he did, he would have died on that field, and he would have been perfectly happy about that. The way he was just like, if a nigga like, and they said this before, if a nigga come at me, they probably if they can't find me, they'll come after someone closest dear to him. So shit like that is just really like hard to listen to. So let me ask you this: do y'all feel like because there's a lot of people who's like when you hear stories like this, they go, "Where's Black Lives Matter? How come you don't see Black Lives Matter doing marches about stuff like this?" Do y'all feel like Black Lives Matter should be involved in stuff like this when it comes to like gang violence or something like that?
I mean, they
Mhm.
didn't. I mean, but my thing is, there's always been movements against that. Name a black neighborhood in America where that thing hasn't been happening, where there hasn't been a neighborhood, watch and making sure people are safe in the community. Name a black city that doesn't have that.
I
You
was
can't.
you can't, and even then, like, because I saw this on the news, because I watched the news. There was community activists. It's just like, dog, we cannot do that. That won't like they would like the way you and Dion was just expressing your anger. They was like that, but like 10 times for like that shit is inhumane and all that other stuff. It's just like that is a child. So why do you think like people? Because I always hear from the conservative side and especially when they're trying to express their point, it's just like, oh, there's people in Chicago, killing people and all that other stuff. Where's Black Lives Matter then? It's just like
Which is a
so.
stupid point.
Okay, see, no, I'm gonna just fucking say it. The whole purpose of Black Lives Matter was supposed to be about standing up against racism, not
Bro,
getting
they know what
involved
it
in
is.
whatever gang related XYZ is going on in whatever city, and then at this point they're just using that to throw shade at Black Lives Matter for whatever reason.
They know what it is. I don't think it's a definition issue. It's very clear what it is. They just don't care. And I don't know why black folks act like, that's not the case. These people don't care.
Look, I've always said this. If you ever thought out that point of, oh, there's people in Chicago dying, what about all that other stuff? I always ask, so what are you doing about that to help the situation out?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And like I said, this comes mostly from the conservative side. And the answer they always give out is, "Oh, I'm just putting awareness out to people that this shit happens." It's like you don't think they fucking know about this? Like this shit, not only like even if this shit, not even Chicago, but you don't think this shit happens in their own hood? Like we're from the DMV area. Like I already know. Like I used to hear all the time about like niggas and like how they get shot and people like bodies being chopped up and all that other stuff. Like you don't think we hear like the streets will hear it before it even gets to the news? You don't think we know about this? But the thing is, I've always said, are you? What are you going to do to go? And none of y'all going to do not a damn thing. So what's the point of bringing it up? It's like you could be the change, but you know that you're not gonna go into Chicago and try to change things because you know them niggas will shoot you on sight, especially if they don't know who you are. So I usually hate that point because people say that too. It's just like oh, there's like the same thing with the whole thing about slavery, and they still say, oh, you know, there's still slavery to this day over there in Africa, and I go, so what are you doing about that? He's like, so what are you doing to help out to stop the slavery
Since you're
going
not doing
on?
nothing about the bullshit going on in America, what you doing to help them?
I said, and I tell them that first things first, we're in America and we're talking about American problems. I don't know why you're bringing up Africa anyway. And second of all, are you going to go over there and try to stop them? No, you're not. It's like, no, you're not. It's like, it doesn't justify that slavery. And I think some of them do it to justify that slavery was okay or slavery happens. I said, that's not the point. Just, but I don't know. I was, and I did say this, like, when Black Lives Matter started, or like before like it became an organization, I had this optimism that they was going to be like the Black Panthers because the Black Panthers did look out for their neighborhoods and like a lot of things that you know people have now like WIC. It started with Black Panthers and all that stuff. I figured Black Lives Matter would start like that, but as you can see, it's not really like that. But as Father said, there are activism and there are activists and there are people in their cities that's trying to, you know, try to resolve this community. Hell, like Nipsey, they say Nipsey was trying to like stop gang violence in his own hood and all that other stuff. So like there are always people. I know there's always people on the ground, but you just don't really know about them, and some of y'all really don't care to know them. So, any last words before we move on to our final topic?
Conservatives, conservatives, conservatives. You remember that time I kept showing you them screenshots of them conservatives I was trying me on Twitter?
Yeah.
Whew.
See,
Man.
you know, it's funny thing is, like I said, it seems like they all come from the same goddamn playbook.
Just inconsistent narrative after inconsistent narrative.
And not only that, they always bring stuff up. They like points to their narrative, but never give you the full context. It's
And
just
then
like,
when not only do they not give you the full
This
context,
group of
sometimes
individuals were slaves. This group of individuals were oppressed. What that got to do with us?
no, my thing is how sometimes they will use their own point to contradict themselves. I've seen them do this so many damn times. It's not even funny. Just if you want to have a good argument, because I've actually had some quite good arguments with conservatives before, so it's possible, but they're rare.
so have I, but a lot of them are really stupid. You could tell, like some people, like I know the one time, like I had this argument, and someone tried to bring up Eric Garner, and I told him that it was an illegal chokehold, and then he sends me an article about that, and I literally like sent it back to him and circled where it said the cop used an illegal chokehold that was outlawed since the 90s and all that stuff. And the man replied back with, well, this has come from a liberal media. And I literally said, but you sent this to me. It's just like, what did you think? It's like, you
Got
sent this
yourself in,
to me.
got yourself in the foot on.
And the thing was, he was still trying to argue his point, where it's just like, bruh, you just like it's right here. And sometimes it's right here. It's like, but you know, some people. I know there's a word for it, but I can't really think of it. But you know, like they're into their own argument, but even when like you hear stuff that like defeats their argument, they still want to argue. They still want to argue that point. I forgot what they call that, but like I run into people like that a lot.
Diverse.
So yeah. So in short, I don't want to be right. I just try to get it right. And that's all I really ask for. Okay. And the final topic of the day. Have any of y'all watched them?
No.
No. Dion, have you seen them?
What's them?
Is a show that's on Amazon Prime, and basically, is what I wanted to talk about because not only Father has talked about seeing tired of seeing black trauma on TV. There's a whole bunch of black people talking about I am tired of seeing black trauma on TV. So I was wondering, um, what do you, are we being oversaturated by like so many shows and movies that shows a lot of black trauma?
Yes.
Yes.
Because the
The
thing, you want to know what's scary about it, though, right?
I'm listening.
So the thing is, it doesn't need to be a movie. All you got to do is turn on CNN and it's right there. What happened the last couple of days? You know what I'm saying? What's been happening all of 2020?
Yeah.
So you don't even need to make it a movie. We're living it right now. So what the fuck is the point of putting it in a movie? What's the point? What's it reteaching us? What's it reminding us of? Shit that happens like just yesterday. And also before, okay, so another thing, it's not just, and I always say this, it's not just the Black American issues. Nollywood movies have the same fucking issue. Just a whole bunch of fucking trauma for no reason. And I think I told you this before, Ray. I've seen movies where like women will cry for like 10 minutes straight. It'll be a straight scene. The movies be like 3 hours fucking long. And there'll be scenes of women just crying because they lost somebody or they're poor and you know their mother is sick or something. And they just cry for like 10-minute scenes, bro. People getting shot and poverty everywhere, every day, suffer, 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 suffer. Like, ugh.
Dion, what you think?
Like Father said, man. We all this stuff all this trauma that they shows in the movies, man. We go through this shit in real life. That's why conversation we had earlier. How I'm kind of sick of all the drug dealer shit. Power and Snowfall and shit like that. Come on, man. I grew up around that shit. I'm tired of seeing that shit. I'm from New York. I'm from the drug capital of the fucking East Coast, man. Come on. When when are we gonna see some shit about niggas being happy?
Being what?
I
Happy.
said
Oh,
being
happy.
happy.
Oh. You done, Dion?
Yeah.
Okay. This is exactly why I say the '90s was, I would say, the golden era of film because you had, yes, I'm pretty sure you had your traumatic joints, and like they kept showing reruns of Roots, and I think King and Malcolm X. Even though Malcolm X is like you don't really get to the trauma part until he gets shot, but but you had that, you had your Spike Lee movies, and then you had your lighthearted comedies like Friday, and TV shows like Martin and Fresh Prince of Bel Air and all that stuff. And even in the late 2000s, like you had some of that lighthearted. So you had your balance. Like now, I know like Spike Lee, he really didn't like those shows. He thought they were minstrel shows, but as Jamie Foxx said, is like respectfully, he should back off. These are comedians. It's like none of them people are minstrels, but I I sort of agree with Jamie Foxx. Some of my favorite movies, and these, not gonna lie, these are white movies, are like Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, Stories of Ricky Bobby. He's like, I like movies where it's just like um junk food, like comfort food and like all that other stuff. Like I look at that, I look at comfort food. Like I don't have to it doesn't have to be deep. It's just gotta be funny. Or, just to be enjoyable. Like the expendables. Like the expendables, it's just mind numbingly fun and them just blowing stuff up. And I know people shit on the Transformers too, but like I can appreciate the Transformers being what it is. Action movie with Michael Bay and nothing but explosions. Hell, like I feel like there should be a balance, and like I don't really see a lot of black movies like that either in this generation, except for the movie where like rapper Cal was in, and I keep forgetting about that. But his whole thing was he was going to the Marines, and he just wanted to have a night out and all that other stuff. We don't really have a lot of movies like that. And I think the closest thing we had to like even something remotely that are Tyler Perry movies, and they are really bad. No, I'm not even going for it. Like Temptate, like they have a lot of angst, and like even like shows like All American, like I like the show, but the rich nigga angst that they be having, it sometimes bother me.
Is that what you call it?
Yes, rich nigga angst. This person don't like it.
I was trying not to. I was trying not to laugh. I was trying to let you finish your statement, but then he laughed. Damn it,
You
Father, you're a
cannot.
bad
Y'all,
influence.
I know. Father has watched the show. Dion, have you watched that show?
What show?
All
All
American.
American.
Oh nah.
Rich nigga angst. I love.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like Empire. Empire is dumb. All right. Empire, like I love
Empire
this
got
show.
stupid after the third season.
No, it's been stupid since the first season. Let's be.
Yeah, it's
No,
always
first two
been
seasons was
stupid.
cool.
It's always been
Season three
stupid.
was a little rough. After season three they were trying to do too much.
Nigga, Andre
No,
was seeing his dead stepbrother and he was going crazy. It got now that was the last season, but and Andre's my man. Like he is my favorite. Nigga, Jussie Smollett, Jamal, I think it was Jamal. Nigga
Yeah.
he was a gay thought. I'm sorry. He was a
and he
gay.
was the worst gay thought that ever lived.
And me and Father agree on that. He is the worst gay thought he have ever lived. The nigga just could
He
not.
just fumbled every single bag.
Lucius was just petty, and he was like my favorite part. He's just petty. Fucking Hakeem was just stupid.
Oh, that nigga was all the way. I hated that motherfucker. I couldn't
I
stand that
like,
game.
Drop.
yeah. I don't like him either, but at the same time, he's just stupid. It's just stupid. Like Cookie, I love Taraji P. Henson. I have no problems with that character, but yeah. But her is just like, I don't trust you, Lucius. And I didn't like her in the fourth season when Lucius was really trying to be clean and she kind of like jumped to the conclusion. I was like, why? It's like there was really no point in doing this and all that.
There was no point in doing that.
I was like, for that season, I hated her. Now I know you don't like Power. I like Power because Power was dumb. Power was stupid, and the whole time I just wanted Ghost to beat his son ass throughout that whole season. It's like if you don't put a belt or a fist or a foot, and I don't think adults should beat their kids, but that boy was just out of order or something. He got his sister killed. Let's just be real. He got his sister killed. It was dumb. And she was, I'm gonna say this: the way she died was stupid. She go up to a fucking dirty cop. She go up to a fucking dirty cop and go, "Leave my brother alone," with no fucking gun, and he just shoots her. I was like, "Yo, this scene is so fucking stupid. Like, why is this here? It's just why." And then 50 dives into a fire, and then he survives. Like, what the? Like, now don't
remember the struggle dreads? Remember Lucius dreads?
Oh my god! Yo, he looked like Mekhi Phifer and 8 Mile with the fucking dread.
Oh, man. Hearing that comment kind of takes me back to how all Tyler Perry movies is always a bald nigga as a villain, and then some light-skinned motherfucker in a bad wig.
I'm dark skinned, I'm bald, I hate you, and I hate Jesus.
I hate my girl because it's black. I hate Whoopi Goldberg's lips.
I hate the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. But I would like to say there are, even though like we talk about the black, there are some good shows like Pose. Me and Father done raved about Pose many a times. Pose is a great show, and it's funny because my sister hear me talk about Pose is like, I'm surprised you don't watch the show. And I tell them I watch anything with good writing in it, and it has good writing in there. Though everybody on Pose does this thing, which reminds me, I still don't know how they're going to top season 2. Like, I hope season 3 is great, but I don't think they're going to top season 2. Season 2 was fantastic. But yeah, I get like, I'm like y'all, I do get sick tired of seeing black trauma on TV. But I just wish that more or less we get just like I'm gonna just say dumb movies, because just dumb movies like a black version of Step Brothers or a black version of Talladega Nights or something like that. Like, I would like to
Man,
see
the
those.
closest thing
Some,
we had, we've gotten to a black version of Step Brothers. I'm sorry, Friday.
nigga, that's '90s.
Even still, I think
I'm
that's the
talking.
closest we're ever
I'm
gonna
talking
fucking
about.
get.
I'm talking about for this era, for this generation, even for this. Hell, like I would say, like, and I know everybody hates this movie because how stereotypical it is, and I understand how stereotypical. Soul Plane. I like Soul Plane.
Soul
Is it
Plane was
That was
funny.
stereotypical?
funny as
We're not
fuck, and
gonna
I
front
think
like
he
Soul
did
Plane
like that
wasn't
shit.
funny.
Some people
Soul
do not
Plane was
like it. It's
funny.
like it hit because some people don't like it because it hits every stereotypical black point. I was like, but it's funny.
That was the whole point of the movie. Funny because it's true. Yeah. Like,
There's
it's the
people that hate
stereotypical
Soul
shit
Plane
that
though.
fueled the movie, that made it funny, that made it entertaining. That was the whole point of the movie.
You know how think piece Twitter be like.
Yeah, and and this is another problem I have with it. It seems like when we do something like that, oh, it's stereotypical, or we just tired of looking at stereotypes. I feel like we're
Yeah.
getting, but when we do these serious movies, like When They See Us, and I just seen Two Distant Strangers that had some police brutality, or anything that had to do with police brutality, it seems like everybody's just, oh, I'm tired of this black traumas and all that other stuff. In which y'all do have a point. But it's just like, all right, is there a middle ground? And I would say Blackish, but Blackish is just like, I don't
It's not
consistently watch it.
relatable to me.
It's unrelated. I understand it fully. Like, like he had another joint, Black as Fuck,
See,
and I was like, this is really rich nigga, light skinned nigga problems. This was rich nigga mixed nigga problems. Is just that's really what it was, and it was just like, and like, even though I think Blackish is like funny, I can understand what, like, when Father says it's not that relatable. Martin, to me, is fucking relatable. Like, but not a lot of stuff is like on TV is relatable like that. Anybody anybody else got any words before we move on to our final thoughts?
Yes, like you said, pick a side, and we're worthy of not of having good shit too. It doesn't always have to be suffering and baby mamas and shit. Like we can have black people having a good ass time for no fucking reason.
Right. I would like to go, yeah, and I would like to, at least for this generation, because I know I can go back to Friday, and I know I can go back to other movies that is comfort food and all that other stuff. But for this generation, I would like to go to a movie and just like turn my brain off and just have fun. You know, I hope I get that for this generation. Like, I would like to see a black version of Talladega Nights. I would like to see a black version of Step Brothers. You know, for this generation. Um,
Just a good
now,
ass black sitcom.
yes, a good ass black sitcom. Even though like people don't watch sitcoms no more, but
shit, Jamie Foxx got a new one on Netflix. I'm thinking about checking out.
it doesn't look that funny. That's really don't look that. I would check it out but
I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna watch the first episode and see if I actually laugh.
I'm gonna give it a chance because I gave Marlon a chance, and even though I'm a big, I like Marlon Wayans, and
I'm
but
a
people
fan of the
like
Wayans family in general, but
people. Yeah, I'm about to say people clown him too because it's just like they always say his movies are bad. They're not great, but I wouldn't say they're bad either. But also Tyler Perry's Temptation, I still think it's the worst Tyler Perry movie ever made. I know you say was it Acrimony
for me, it's
or
Acrimony. For me, worst thing Tyler Perry ever did was Acrimony.
that is the second worst Tyler Perry movie for me. But even
I
then, I had to
I
laugh at that
didn't
one.
mind Temptation actually, just from a story standpoint. My beef with Temptation is it was a good story. The story could have been told a lot better than what it was.
Nigga, she read this nigga's whole traits, good and bad, to his face, and then still fuck with the nigga. Not only that, and I think, like, not only that, left her
But
husband off for something stupid that y'all could have just solved, and then she got AIDS. That's the movie for y'all. Honestly, like, spoilers, but that's the whole fucking movie. Like, she was with her husband for
but then,
like all
but
her life.
then,
She was with her husband all her life. They get
and then
into one
here's the
stupid
and then
ass
here's the
argument.
and then here's the part where like, okay, you're gonna have something to say about about me when I say this, but it's just that's the kind of shit that women do. That's the kind of shit that a lot of women fucking do.
I refuse to believe that. I look.
I
I
Dion, what?
I kind of refuse to believe that. Like
What?
this. Here's the thing. I understand. Like if a woman says she's going to Vegas or Miami or some shit like that, I wouldn't trust her either. If that was your girlfriend or some shit like that. But
with who?
like
That'd be
like
my
those,
with who?
huh?
I said my immediate response would be like, with who? We ain't playing no trip. Where the fuck you think you going?
Like a girls only trip. Basically, she belongs to the streets. I understand. Like they go to Miami or places where they can
All
use
right,
fake
go to Vegas
names
if
and
you
like
want. These
have this
motherfucking lobster
double
be
life
changing.
and all this shit.
Your dick gonna be outside. But anyway,
You're going to tell me that a woman she tells you your good traits and your bad traits, and not only these are bad traits, these are fucking toxic traits that you should stay away from, and you still fuck with the nigga. And
again,
it's not
that is the type of shit females do. They'll
I
know the
repeat,
nigga ain't shit and
Yo,
still mess with him.
no,
And then
that's not
and
it,
then
Dion.
freaking whine and bitch about, oh, he did this to me, he did that to me afterwards.
Dion, that's not it. That ain't it. I'm telling
uh,
you,
again,
What?
that
again.
ain't it.
Tell me in that movie the argument that they had to make her go fuck with the rich nigga that could have been solved.
I
And
mean,
not
yeah,
That's the
it
thing.
could
I
have.
it's
can't
not
remember
like
what they were arguing about. I can't
she
remember
just
what the original beef was even about.
that he was boring and not spontaneous and like they that was basically it. That he was not spontaneous and shit.
Oh, that's it.
That and I think
Man,
they missed their anniversary dinner because he had to work, which in which in hindsight the nigga owns his own pharmacy. Like he owns his own business, so he's the boss in there. Like you would understand, like the nigga's trying to run his business, and like you in a good cushy job yourself. So I know you both of y'all are busy. So it's just like I run my business, right? It's just and then her whole personality turns into a 180. She goes from a church girl to a druggie. Not only that,
again,
she's a druggie, she's an alcoholic, she's doing all this shit, and then she catches AIDS. Acrimony, I understand. Like, even though I thought the movie was dumb, I understand. You support this nigga for so
the movie
long.
was dumb. The story itself was dumb.
No, I understand. Like Acrimony, I understand. You support a nigga for so long, and he ain't really doing shit with his life. he wasn't really doing shit with his life, so you gave up on him. Like she literally like spent
No,
all this
hold on,
money
hold on,
on.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. If we're actually going to discuss this, let's start from the beginning of this motherfucker.
You telling me she never used like he
Hold up,
didn't
hold
use
up,
her for
hold up,
everything
hold
he
up,
had?
hold up. No, hold up. Let's start from the beginning of this motherfucker. If we're really going to discuss this motherfucking movie, all right.
Okay, yeah. All
First of
right.
first of fuck of all, when this nigga cheated on her when they were, teenagers in college or whatever the fuck, that should have been the end of the situation then. She still went back to the nigga, married him, and this, that, and the third. You, you know, even with him, okay, spending all y'all money trying to, do his electrician thing, do his thing with his battery and shit. You know, you still stuck with the motherfucker. You got no one to blame but yourself at that point. I'm sorry.
Here's
You
the
got no one to
thing.
blame for but yourself.
Here's the thing. Here's the
Then
thing.
hold on. Then okay, y'all split up. Y'all finally split up. Motherfucking his shit with the battery, takes off or whatever. Not only does he motherfucking buy back the house y'all lost because of him working on this battery, he cuts you a fat ass check for you to do whatever the fuck you want with, on top of buying back the house he lost for you and giving you back the deed, the keys, and everything to your old motherfucking house. That should have been the end of the story right there. But no, you wanted to go psycho bitch about the shit, act like you built the motherfucking this, that, and the third. Like, no, he done. Truth be told, he didn't have to do that shit, but he did it anyway. That situation should have just been dead right there. But no, you went and okay, now you try to get the nigga back. He done moved on. Yes, he ended up getting with the chick that he cheated on her with way back when, but that's besides the motherfucking point. The point is that the relationship between them was motherfucking terminated. He did you a favor, got your house back, cut you that money. What more do you want?
Are you
That
done?
again, that whole story was just dumb.
Are you done? Are you done? Father, you want to go first? You want to go first?
What I was gonna say is the way you just explained everything, like when you're telling the movie, you see how exaggerated it is, right? Please tell me you see how exaggerated it is.
It's very exaggerated.
It's very fucking exaggerated. Ain't no sane person is going to act like that woman acted in the movie. It's not supposed to be relatable. That's the point. This is a movie just because black women go through trauma and black men ain't shit and the black woman is stubborn because
But then, he, but then
money.
even when you got other black women looking like, did this bitch really just do that? This bitch ain't just take that money in that house and go about her
Yeah, but
life.
that's what I'm saying. It's exaggerated. It's not relatable. That's what I'm saying. So I don't feel like that's what we're saying. Movies like that help nobody. Because
No,
like everybody that's
Right
talked
about
about
that.
that movie
You're
hates it.
absolutely right about that.
Everybody
nobody.
name somebody who likes that movie.
Tyler Perry.
Bruh.
I'm sorry.
But I'm saying it's exaggerated. You know what I mean? It's like he just so we're gonna take every negative black woman stereotype, right? And then we're just gonna slap it onto one character and say, "Here's a movie, guys, acrimony."
Not only
Meanwhile,
that, and this is going by the movie basis. Imagine you telling your girl, when I finally get on with my battery, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to get you this. And she's been hearing that for 20 something years. And they're like, every time he goes
Again,
there,
it's her own
no, no,
fault
no,
for
no, no, no,
sticking
no, hold
around
on, hold
that
on.
long.
No, hold on. And she's been hearing that for so long, but he has done nothing but go to that same place, which not only that they don't see him, they done banned them from the premises. And then all the other stuff. And then like not only that, you got this nigga through college, paid for all his shit, and then supported that house and supported both of them in that house while he just sat there and did nothing. Like that nigga didn't even get a job. He like a couple odd jobs there, but she was basically carrying that nigga throughout the whole time. And then when you finally get on, like she was expected, like she should have got the stuff she was promised for, but it didn't happen like that. It's like I could sort of like even though it's exaggerated, I could sort of understand why she went crazy. That's why I think Temptation is way worse than Acrimony. Hell, I might even put a Fall of Grace above Acrimony or some shit like that.
That's ooh.
I didn't see Fall from Grace.
Oh, we talking to go if you want. Oh, that's a bad one.
Ray.
That was
You
a
know
bad
what we
one.
need to do? I
What?
want to marathon Tyler Perry movies with you.
We can do that.
Wait a minute. See? Hold on, baby. Hold on. Wait.
The thing is, I like some of Tyler Perry's movies. He doesn't. Not all of them was bad. Some of them I really like. Medea's which one? Family Reunion. That one's good. Except
Why
the
Did
whole
I Get Married Too was good.
yeah. Why did I get married to? I like both of them.
Both Why Did I Get Married movies, in my opinion, were fire.
I actually prefer the second one.
The second one is better than the first one to me.
Yeah, same.
I'm going with the first one just because my
Honestly,
favorite
I'm
scene
not
is
gonna
when Just
lie.
got busted old boy over the head with that bottle.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I cannot look at Malik Yoba and not keep a straight face. Like every time I see Malik,
all I think about is Just got busting him over the head with that bottle. That's all I think about.
I'm thinking about that scene where like the drag queen popped out the cake, and I'm thinking like Malik Yoba probably wanted to hit that for real. Like I cannot look at Malik Yoba like the same way I used to before. Like it's like that whole him thing with the what he did and the whole Breakfast Club interview. It just literally ruined it for me. Like I can't look at it. Just like who you like. Don't get me wrong. Like who you like. I'm not against it, but it's just that whole situation was just weird. So, but I would watch that. But it's funny we're talking about to me the three worst Tyler Perry movies, and which one is it? Not Diary of Mad, but the one with Taraji P Henson and she was a singer in a lounge.
So I can do that all by myself.
I hate that movie too.
What?
I think that movie is terrible. That's number 4.
All right, Ray. All right. I'm not disagreeing with you. The movie's not that good, but it does have a special place in my heart. It's one of those movies. It's one of those cute movies to me. It's cute.
Oh, that you find it cute? Okay.
I find it cute. It's adorable to me. Mary J. Blige singing her songs, Auntie Mary singing her little songs. You know, she an alcoholic. Come on, bro.
Like, I will give you cute, but it's also like cinematography wise, it's the worst looking movie too. It's just like, why does this look so?
You see, I don't know nothing about that.
Ever since I got in film, I looked at it again. It's like, yo, this movie is so bad. Looks so cheap. And Tyler Perry is cheap. Don't get me wrong.
He is. Them wigs, he's cheap.
Yes, he'll do a movie. He'll do a full length movie in a fucking week. That's some cheap ass shit. And don't get me wrong. Like I appreciate Tyler Perry and all and what he did just to get where he's at and all that other stuff. But yeah, if I'm talking about
certain things, there's just no excuse for.
Yeah, and those 4 movies, in my opinion, are no excuse. Especially Temptation. I cannot that movie pisses me off to this day. It's just like
oh shit.
Oh my god. All right, any last words before we move on to our final thoughts?
Oh shit.
Buy better wigs.
Please. Buy better wigs. I'm
just
And you know what's funny? His Halloween movies, like I know they're nothing to really laugh over, but I like the fact that they're just simple and stupid. It's just
Yeah, they're just stupid.
yeah, they're just simple and stupid. It's just like this is where I feel like he should take the Medea character,
Yeah, just doing stupid shit.
just doing stupid shit like that. But I do understand like if he wants to do other movies outside of that suit. But there's no getting away from that suit. Everybody, it's just like him. It's like Jaleel
That's
White and
Medea.
Urkel.
That's
Yeah,
Medea.
that's what it is. It's just like Jaleel White and Urkel. Like you're
You're
forever
Urkel.
Steve Urkel.
And you know what? He's just accepted it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a smoker, but that purple Urkel did look good.
Shit, I wouldn't mind.
I gotta
Yep.
say, it must be worth something if Snoop Dogg is backing him on that shit. What's his name? Jaleel White got his own, I guess, brand of weed or
Cannabis.
whatever, Purple Urkel. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's got to be worth something if Snoop Dogg is backing you. So, hey,
Hey, man. Look, first of all, shout out to Jaleel White for even getting back into that. Like, it was funny to me. That commercial was funny, especially when he said like they call me the Black Mark Zuckerberg. He's like, no one calls you that. He said, would you believe they call Mark Zuckerberg the Vanilla Urkel? He was like, yeah, I can agree with that. I thought that was funny. Yo,
see,
Jaleel White's a funny dude.
it's shit
I
like
keep
that.
telling
It's
people,
shit
Jaleel
like
White
that.
is he's funny. All right, now we are going to our final thoughts, and we're going to start with Dion.
Final thoughts. Just man, Tyler Perry needs to bring Medea back, man. Fuck the bullshit.
You think he needs to bring Medea back?
Yes.
I was actually like with him on retiring that character. I'm not gonna lie. Like I understand. Like I think he wants to be looked at Tyler Perry and not as Medea. You know, like.
But see, that's the thing that made you famous. So is yeah.
But I also get it because it's just like 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 we just talked about Jaleel White. People
Yeah.
always call him
You're always
Steve
gonna
Urkel.
know him as Steve Urkel. You're always gonna know motherfucking Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. You're always gonna know motherfucking
No,
Robert Downey Jr. as
no,
Iron Man.
no, no. You know Hugh Jackman is Hugh Jackman.
To
I know
me, he's
he's great.
Wolverine. Fuck that. To me, he's Wolverine.
Like
Anyway,
Just because it's you, yeah, like not about you.
I know like he's not he doesn't have that stigma like Jaleel White, Gary Coleman, fucking I'm trying to think of someone white, Punky Brewster. Like people look at him, they don't like Alfonso Ribeiro. Like they still call him Carlton instead of his real name. Like I'm pretty sure people don't even know his real name is Alfonso. They probably still call him Carlton. Exactly. I wouldn't want that. So it's
I
just like
mean, again, that is what made you famous. So it's just like, what can you really do about that?
yeah, but it's like it's also annoying. And like when Gary Coleman was a security guard, they had people coming up to him was like, "Yo, can you say what you talking about, Willis?" Like for you, it's that one time, but for him, he's probably said that like 100 fucking times already
In a day. Could you say that a
in a
hundred fucking times in a day, Dion?
in a day.
You
You know
laughing?
what?
He's
I'll
one
give
of
you
the
that
people
because
because he's one of the people going, "Hey man, could you do that? What you talking about, Willis?" Or you go up to Jaleel like, "Hey man, can you say did I do that?" I bet
you
you
know,
you're one of the
I
people who
can't
do that.
even I can't even argue with that. Because
Exactly.
God rest his soul, there was a couple of times where Chadwick Boseman was doing a couple of photo shoots when Black Panther came out. And you could tell he was getting annoyed with the whole Wakanda thing.
That nigga
So
had a big
I'm not
smile on
even.
his.
I can't even argue there.
That nigga went from Wakanda forever to Wakanda sometimes.
Literally. But the annoying thing, this is a quick side rant, but the annoying thing is how everything African just became Wakanda. It's no longer Nigeria, it's Wakanda. It's no longer Ghana, it's Wakanda. No longer South Africa, it's Wakanda. Kenya, nah, nigga, it's Wakanda.
Oh yeah, you know, like
That was the only annoying part.
oh yeah, when especially when Akon was like he was trying to build up his hometown, everybody's like, oh, he's making his own Wakanda. It was like, no.
Oh my god. No, it's funny you mentioned Akon. I just seen. Did you see the video of him? I guess a fan. Well, not even a fan. I can't even call him a fan. A member of the audience in one of his shows. I guess threw something at him on the stage. He pulls dude on the stage with him just to scoop his ass up and throw him off the fucking stage.
That happened a long time ago, didn't it?
Yeah, but the video just recently resurfaced on Instagram.
I don't blame him. That shit is disrespectful. I'd throw your ass too.
And I'm just like, damn, I ain't know the nigga was that strong. Like full on, like gorilla press home and then flung him back into the audience.
You know who also used to do that? I'm pretty sure you don't know who he is. This is white rapper named Action Bronson.
Yeah, I know him. I know him.
Oh, yeah. People used to come up to his every time he do a live performance, he will body slam you and then throw you back in the fucking crowd. Like he would literally scoop slam you and then throw you back in the crowd. Like that shit. It was like I don't know, and it's always drunk white people. It's like I don't know why white people do
Why
this.
why would you piss off someone as big as he is? That nigga got to weigh about how much he weighed? 300 some odd pounds?
That nigga bigger than 300. That nigga's a big boy.
Action Bronson's huge. Why would you intentionally piss him off? Explain that one to me.
Some people just don't. I don't know. Some people just, why like I know when Kevin Gates kicked it, it's like I don't know why people do this. It's like these niggas from the streets. Like Kevin Gates shouldn't have kicked the girl, don't get me wrong, but it's just like street niggas are paranoid. Why you keep fucking with paranoid niggas like they not paranoid? Like
and he's from New York, so yeah.
Right. He from Queens. Yeah, we don't play that shit. The fuck? But yeah,
nigga, Nas put out a get on DJ Envy one time, and DJ Envy like tried to give him a CD. This was back in the 90s, but he was like he saw Nas and Nas pulled out a gun and said, "What the fuck you want?" He was like, "I just try to give you my CD." Yeah, and it was like, "Yeah, don't ever do that shit."
Okay, he's still big enough. You say he went from what was that 363 to 283?
Yeah.
You say that like he's small. He's still well over 200 pounds. It won't take much for him to go back over 300.
I didn't even know Action Bronson lost weight. Congrats on him.
Again, but then 280 is still big. The fuck?
I mean, yeah, but it's not 363.
Ain't that right, baby girl? What you weigh? Like 15 pounds?
10.
You feel like you weigh more than 10.
You done with your final thoughts, Theon?
Yeah.
Okay, Father is on you.
Shit. The Mortal Kombat movie coming out tomorrow.
Are you excited about that?
No.
So shout out to my man Real Nigga Brad, because I already know we about to have a conversation about that sooner or later. But
I just want it to be a good movie, but I'm not excited for it. I'm not gonna be like hype myself in case it's disappointing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna watch the movie, and if it's good, I give it the props, and if I don't like it, I don't like it.
I'm in the same boat as you. It was like I hope it's a good movie. It looks like it's gonna be a good movie. So
yeah, that's all I'm asking for.
Excuse me.
I guess it's with me now. I hope the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier is good, and I hope sooner or later we come up with some better movies. Like I'm just gonna reiterate. I hope we come up with some better movies. Hell, I even hope like we get some so bad it's good movies from like our people. Like I know Black Lady sketch show is coming back on there. I'm actually excited about that. I like the first season. It had its hits and misses, but overall, I thought it was a good season, and I'm glad that it actually had a second season. Even though my girl Quentin's not going to be in this season, but I'm happy that that show did get a second season because, like I said, there was some joints that actually did have me laughing, like the Invisible Spy and the Basic Ball. Like they had some really good sketches. So I hope like this season, and like I said, whenever Pose season 3 comes back on, I hope that's really good as well too. Which I know that Pose season 3 is going to be good, but I still don't think it's going to top season 2 because the way season 2 that was like every episode was great. Like every episode to me was like a 10. So I have very high standards for Pose. So um, that's it on this podcast. I would like to thank the panel for coming on again. I would like to thank y'all for listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is You Know What? Let me just say podcast and we signing out. Peace.
Adios.